Alright, so from your child's pose, we'll start to make our way back up to table. And then starting to bring chin to chest, lifting the bottom ribs, the belly button, sending the tailbone to the floor, and then using that core activity to step your left foot, the outside of the pinky, and walk that right knee back. Squeeze the legs together. Breathe in while the legs are pulling together and the navel is pulling in. Chest forwards, but the head can bow to the floor. Taking another inhale. And then curling back toes under, lifting that back knee, walking the hands forwards, and then kicking that right leg all the way to the sky for standing splits. Again, if it's too much, that left knee can be a little bit bent to ease the posture for the hamstrings, letting the head relax. Sending that right heel up as high as you can. Taking another breath in. And then as you exhale, releasing right foot to the floor. This time we're going to heel toe the feet a little wider. Toes are spun out to sink the hips towards the floor, finding Malasana. Hands are going to find heart. For some of us, this isn't comfortable for knees or hips, and so we're going to stay a little bit higher, probably hips slightly above the knees. Still got the elbows and the knees squeezing into each other, hands to heart. And so feet also hug towards that midline. Pull the shoulders back and together so that your chest starts to merge out over the fingertips. Take a couple more breaths. And then from here, hands come behind you. You can lower the hips. And then we're going to grab that strap, unwinding it, laying it across the mat, so it kind of divides your mat a little bit, making sure there's no twists. Lowering down, and it should adjust. You should be able to adjust it so it's right underneath the low back where you can freely slide it side to side. Once you've got it there, keep a hold of the ends of the strap, but start to press your low back firmly into the strap so that now you no longer can slide that strap side to side because your back's clamping it down. From that, we're going to lift the right heel up and curl the left toes to the shin bone. So we've got kind of one foot pointed, one foot flexed, and then you're going to pick both feet up and switch. Right heel down, left toes down. Pick both feet up, switch, switch. So while you bounce the feet into flexion and pointing, you're going to keep trying to prevent that strap from sliding side to side by pushing it in the low back down into the floor, into that strap. So keep testing, because as our core fatigues, it's going to be easy to slide the strap, and you really want to keep your low back grounded. 2 more little bounces. You're going to end with the left heel down, and then you can widen the feet to the edges of the mat, arm shape of a T, and sway the knees side to side. As your knees go in one direction, let your face roll in the other direction. One more side to side. And then you can bring the knees into the chest, hands slide under knees, rock front to back. Take as many rocks as feel good, eventually crossing ankles and making your way back to our table, and you can set your strap to the side. So breathing in, chest forwards, As you exhale, chin to chest, start to roll that spinal flexion one vertebra at a time until you find yourself in a complete cat back. And now we're going to bring that right knee to the chest and step the foot between the hands. I see students get stuck a lot halfway. If you forget to flex your foot before you get about halfway, your foot might get stuck. So finding that flexion, and sometimes it helps to come up on the fingertips, just make a little more room. And then we're going to curl the left toes under, lifting that back knee. Walk the hands up onto your right thigh. Reach the arms up and overhead. And so crescent lunge. Allow the shoulders to relax down the back. We're going to interlace fingers behind the sacrum. Squeeze the elbows together. Use the knuckles to slide the tailbone to the floor and begin lifting the chest, drawing the chin slightly back. You should feel that open the pecs. Expand the inhalation into the chest. And then soften on out of that. And then we're going to grab our strap. If you have like a traditional belt, it might not be long enough. Let's see. So if it's not long enough, just forget about the prop. But you're going to have your toe ball mounts on that strap. And then for the left foot, and then you're going to step your right foot through. Shoulders back, chest open. Plug your left thigh bone into the hip socket so that your foot floats. See how it can kind of just hover above the floor. And then drive the toe ball mounts into your strap and hinge at the hips. Just start folding into our warrior three. Like our standing splits, your bottom leg, standing leg can be a little bent. It's harder muscularly. Drive the foot into the strap, send the chest forwards. Shoulder blades slide together. Pull the belly in. Take another breath in. And then exhale to come back upright. You can grab your belt or a strap holding it still. Hands are separated about 3 feet. And the arms go up and then back. And they might get to a point where they get kind of stuck. Do not bend the elbows at that point. Draw the belly in and see if after a couple breaths maybe the arms can get past that sticky spot and come down. If not, find a little more length between the hands on your strap and then come up and through and then go back. Again, you get to that sticky point. Don't pop the chest or bend the elbows. Keep that all in alignment and just weaving your way through it. Good. And then release. You can drop the strap. Breathe and reach the arms up. As you exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. Step your way to our plank pose. So here, we're going to lower onto the elbows. You can either keep the forearms parallel with each other, palms flat, or interlace fingers with that bottom pinky kind of tucked into the center of the palm like you would set up for headstand. And so while you're here, we're going to slide shoulders to the hips and then shift forward so that your nose comes kind of in line with your thumbs, and then rock back. Rock forwards and rock back. One more time, rock forwards and rock back. And so staying in our kind of centered plank, pulling the belly in without sending the hips up, finding almost like a cat back here. And then set knees, thighs, hips, navel down. Slide the hands back. Drive the lower half of the body into the floor as you lift the chest. Reach the hands back. Interlace fingers, reach the knuckles, lift the forearms away from the hips, lift the legs. Spiral the inner thighs to the sky. And then release. Hands to shoulder, under shoulders, wiggle the hips a couple times. And then press your way back to table. Chin to chest. Lift the bottom ribs, the navel, send the tailbone to the floor. And then pick that left foot up, curl the toes to the shin, lift the knee, hug the knee into the chest. Keep that foot flexed. Again, you might come up onto the left fingertips to get that foot through, or you can lift it up completely. Right toes curl under, lifting the back knee. Squeeze the legs together. Lock the hands up onto the left thigh, and then arms reach up and overhead. And release hands. Maybe switch so the other pinky gets a time on the outside. Elbows squeezed out of the chest. Draw the chin slightly back. And then soften the shoulders. Grab your strap. If you've just got that normal belt, again, you can not use it because it might not be long enough, but we're going to slide that underneath the right toe ball mounts. You've got an end of the strap in both hands, and you're going to step that left foot in front, kind of through the loop you've made. Shoulders back, chest rises and expands. Shift the weight into your left foot and plug the right thigh bone up into the hip socket so your right foot hovers, and then starting to hinge at the hips. Concentrate on a straight line from crown of head out through the right foot. But if you know if that means staying up a little bit taller. Otherwise, lowering to about parallel with the floor. You might wobble. Try to keep grounding the pinky edge of your standing foot. Keep driving the back foot into the strap, sending the chest forwards. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Navel pulls in. Keep breathing. One more inhale. And then exhale to release. So you can just drop the strap out of the way. Inhale to reach the arms up. As you exhale, folding with a flat back. Inhale to lift halfway up. And exhale to plant your hands, stepping your way back to our plank pose. So here we're going to lift that right heel up. And we're going to rock forwards and rock back. Forwards and back. One more. Forwards and back. And set the right toes down. Lift that left heel up just a few inches, maybe hip height. Rock forwards, inhale. Rock back, exhale. Two more. Once you've rocked back that third time, set the toes down, shift forwards, bend the elbows, lower back to the front body. So now we're going to take our right arm out. It's like a 45-degree angle, so it's a little higher than shape of a T. Looking to the left, our left hand's under the shoulder, and you're going to slowly roll onto that left side, setting the head down. And roll back to center. Left hand and right arm out 45. Slowly looking right, rolling, or looking left, lower, rolling to the right. And then coming back to center. bringing both hands under shoulders, pressing your way up. And then we're going to set up for Ustrasana. So you're going to set your knees at least 2 fist distance apart. If you know your low back is resistant to back bends, maybe just a hair wider, maybe like 3 fists, no more than that. From there, the hands are going to come to the low back. Fingers can point down or up. I like up, it gives my forearms a nice stretch, but not everybody's wrists like that. Elbows squeeze together, chest rises, chin draws back. The hands can assist the hips to root the tailbone and shift forwards at the same time. So finding your limit here, you can stay pretty upright and just squeeze elbows together. Or you can start to drop the head back. Or you can curl the toes under and then reach down, find a foot. If you've got a hold of one foot, you'll be able to grab the other. If you can't find a foot, then just keep hands to hips. Reach the hips forwards, breathe into the chest. One hand at a time returns to the low back, and they support you as you slowly come back up. And then you're going to find a seat on your heels. Close the eyes. Let the heart rate slow by, slowing the breath. From here, we're going to lower into one hip, straighten the legs out in front. Hands start by framing the hips, press the floor away to send the chest and the crown of the head a little taller. Curl the tops of the feet back. Breathe in, and on an exhale, you can fold, slowly bringing the belly and then the bottom ribs and the chest towards the legs. Can either take your fists underneath the calves to support a soft bend in the knees, or grab your belt or strap and around the toe ball mount it goes once again, and you're going to drive the feet into the strap. As you do that, you might feel your shoulders get pulled out. Just let your hands slide away from the feet until the shoulders come in line with your chest. See what happens if you straighten the back out, coming up a little bit taller. And then on an exhale, maybe folding. And then hands might be able to walk a little closer and breathe in and grow tall and long through the spine. And then exhale to fold. Take a few more breaths. And then walk the hands in, setting the strap to the side. And so we're going to bend that right knee in, cross it over the left leg. You can either keep your left leg straight or tuck that foot to the outer right hip. Hook your left elbow around the right knee. Reach the right hand and then find your twist, planting the hand just behind the sacrum. Again, gazing over the right shoulder if the neck agrees. And then inhale and untwist. And you're going to let your right foot heel toe sway so the knees come into a slightly deeper cross. From here, we're going to lower onto the back body. The knees come into the chest. You can interlace fingers over either knee or grab the pinky edges of the feet. If you're grabbing the feet, curl the tops of the feet to the shins and then maybe kick the feet into the hands so that your shin bones appear to be parallel to each other. uncross the legs. Now bring the knees right over the hips, shin bones parallel to the floor. Palms come to the bottoms of your quads. You're going to press into the legs and press the legs back into your hands while you press your low back into the floor. You should feel the abdomen, hip flexors, and quads all light up. And then hands slide under knees, and then you're going to rock your way back upright, and then we're going to keep this left knee bent, right leg slides out long. Place your left foot up and over, and then maybe bend that right knee. Again, that's optional. Hook your right elbow, reach your left arm, grow tall, and then find your twist on an exhale. Inhale, untwist, and let your left foot deepen the cross of the knees so that they're comfortable. If we use the hands, we risk going too far for the knee. We're going to keep that cross of the legs and then rock back, hugging the knees into the chest, grabbing onto either knee or the feet, kicking the feet into the hands, trying to anchor the hips into the floor. And then uncross the legs. And plant the feet on the edges of the mat and let the knees rest together. Palms are going to come face down alongside the hips. Wiggle the shoulder blades together. Lift the ribs up off the floor. We're arching the back. And then exhale and flatten the back onto the floor. Try to imagine you're squishing the low back into that strap. And then arch, heel to the feet, hip distance, lift the hips, reach the tailbone to your knees, squeeze the heels towards the shoulders, and then look away from the chest, bridge pose. And then one vertebra at a time, releasing back down. Heel toeing the feet to the edges of the mat, knees rest together. You might choose to stay here for a few more moments. If you feel like your low back's ready, you can straighten the legs out into your Shavasana. Third alternative is to sit in Sukhasana. Wherever you're at, closing the eyes. Letting your breath return to a natural rhythm. And just continuing to observe the inhales coolly flowing in through the nostrils. And feeling the warm exhalations flow back out through the nostrils. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you need. But if you're ready, begin to wiggle fingers and toes to slowly reawaken the body. And when you're ready, roll over to one side. And press down into the floor to find your comfortable seat. Join the hands in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra and bow the head in gratitude to yourself for taking the time out of your day to reconnect, to practice, to yourself. Namaste. So thanks again for joining me in practice today. My name is Morgan Harum. I am so happy to share a practice of yoga with you during this time, and hope you all stay safe and have a great rest of your day. While the class is free, and I'm happy to share, if you do feel inspired to make a donation as small or as generous as you like, there's instructions beneath the video, and then also if you want to share with anybody who you think would appreciate the class or my practice, please do so. So thanks so much. See you next time.